Hey everybody, welcome to the first comments video of 2025 here on Random Encounters, and today we're going to be doing the comments from FNAF Dark Remains.
Oh!
I bet they thought we were done talking about this.
I know, right? Are they done with FNAF yet?
It always comes back.
It always comes back. You might be wondering why we didn't just do First Nights at Freddy's, given Dark Remains is actually part of it.
Well, it feels like we should talk about some of the comments that were made when people didn't know the full story. You know, speculation that maybe they had about whether or not somebody would come back or what the scene was going to be. You know, obviously they had like a little tease for Shadows of Agony at the end of it. And I think it's just more fun to relive back in the day of what people thought was going to happen back when all of it wasn't out yet.
Yeah,
it's nostalgic.
I was going to say, also, we were so busy when these episodes were coming out. I don't know how much time you spent in the comments on them, but it's fun to go back and, like, catch up a little bit.
Oh, that's what they thought. Oh, okay. No, we paid a lot of attention to the comments, and it was just nice to kind of cycle back through.
Yeah.
And like you said, revisit them. So that's what we're going to do today.
These aren't numbered. There's no ranking of them all. They're here. They exist.
Just enjoying your comments today.
Mad Stanley, MATPAT barking was not on my 2024 bingo card, but I'm glad I got to experience it because I was giggling so much.
It is like one of my favorite clips of him being like,
He's so into it.
he is, and we got him to do it like 6 times. We could make an entire like 10 minutes of MATPAT just.
No, but I feel like this is one I was really looking forward to too. Like, you know, reading it in the script and being like, oh, somebody gets to mimic Foxy, and Foxy is already, you know, having too much of a good time.
I'm gonna spill a little secret, okay? MATPAT, please don't hate me. I don't think he really watched the FNAF musical enough to know what Foxy sounds like. I'm just putting it out there. I didn't direct that. That's kind of where he was going. I feel like I tried to show him a clip for reference in case, you know, to jog his memory, but that's what we got. And it's really funny, but it's even funnier when you realize he doesn't actually know what Foxy sounds like.
My guy had no idea what was going on.
Sally Jack, I didn't think anything could make me like Balloon Boy. This musical did it.
Aww.
If I've accomplished one thing in my life, getting someone to not hate Balloon Boy is pretty high up there.
It makes you really feel for him when he dies in the original series.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, yeah. That was part of our checklist, right? We had a checklist. We
Yes.
had a checklist of things that we had to, like, you know, tick off the box so that the original series made more sense. And one of them was like, well, no one cares that much about Balloon Boy, but what if they did? And this, you know, First Nights at Freddy's and Dark Remains especially gives us the chance to get to know Balloon Boy a little bit and hopefully fall in love with him.
Let it be known that the actual Balloon Boy prop is nowhere near as useful or good
gosh,
as
no.
Balloon Boy is portrayed in the project.
He's pretty annoying.
All he does
in
is
person.
spin around and then complain that he needs to be taken for a spin.
Yeah.
Take me for a spin.
Yeah, I don't think we have a single one that has 2 functioning wheels. The closest is the original, and it has no functioning head, so. But we have all 3 of them, so. Never lost a Balloon Boy. Just can't use them for anything.
The tricky creeper boy said, I never would have thought that Trash in the Gang would be so threatening.
I feel like you should have gotten a clue of their threateningness in Web of Lies. Like, number 1 crate pulls out a knife and
The body count is high. That's really dark.
That's what he kills Pig Patch.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Or she. Number 1 crate is
Yeah,
a she.
yeah, number 1 crate kills,
Kills Pig Patch, and then obviously Orville gets squished later, but that's Glitchtrap who does that. So.
Yeah, I mean, Candu eats the beard.
It's true.
like-
Candu eats the beards. I know
Yeah.
somebody asked that once. I was like, where did the beard go? He disappeared after this episode. I'm like, did you not see him get eaten by a trash can?
Yeah, Mr. Hugs tries to smother Chica. Like, it
Yeah,
gets real.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, punching, kicking, biting, and terrible things going on.
Let's also not forget, Pan Stan is the one who killed Mikey.
You know what I really appreciate though? That aside from do the jump scare, we never decided to have Trash in the Gang talk. Like, I think that actually is part of what makes them so like good at being bad guys, is how silently menacing they are.
Yeah. Well, that feeds also into how rudimentary they are. That they can be easily manipulated by somebody like Glitchtrap because they don't even have like the ability to speak their own thoughts or communicate amongst each other very well. So I think they look to a leader and they find a really cool, charismatic one that has really bad intentions.
Animations Plus says, is the lab coat scene meant to be a soft reference to Ennard? If so, that's really cute, and I like that.
See, this didn't actually register me. It's not intentional, but I love that somebody questioned if it was because it does work. So Ennard, right, is the amalgamation of a bunch of animatronics. And the lab coat scene is them all stacking together to form a body, kind of like Ennard. So that is a really good catch on your part. Not so much a writing, joke on our part, but I love that FNAF is just twisty enough that sometimes you can find things in unexpected places and go, that works. So if a bunch of animatronics teaming up to sneak out of a building works for you as an Ennard reference, happy to let you have that.
Man, it always sells it for me how many people just like stop and stare. Like all of our extras on set that day were doing such a fabulous job of just cranking up the humor on that.
I was just thinking in my head, I was like, man, those people are going to have a really interesting story to go tell when they get home from work. And then I was like, none of them make it home.
They're all one day from retirement.
That one guy that waved at them at the elevator.
That guy goes home.
He went home early, probably.
Zalzar made it home okay. And started a YouTube channel.
The first guy that they steal the badge off of, he got home okay.
Weirdly, because he was locked in that room. How did he get out? But he did get out. Core upped. Gonna be honest, I thought for a second that C4 was sticks of butter.
Sometimes you just gotta build a bomb out of sticks of butter.
I've heard of exotic butter, but how about explosive butter?
Oh, explosive exotic butter.
We
exotic
can't prove
explosive butter?
that exotic butter isn't explosive.
No, I know nothing about it.
I've seen the commercial for it. It has a lot of uses. So as a tactical explosive device, maybe.
Perhaps. I just think it's funny that phone guy buys explosive butter to attach into his bomb.
Let's admit, his bomb is not really top of the line.
Yeah.
It's not even self-powered.
It's cost cutting.
It plugs into the wall.
It's...
Because the butter doesn't generate electricity. It's not that exotic, okay?
Red Heart Studios. Hang on. If the supercharge overrode their daytime sleep mode function, how come Mark and Nate have to wait for night 5 for them to wake up? Okay, this is a valid thought. I'm glad you followed it through.
Glad you thought it. But.
I think the supercharge doesn't last for more than like one day. I think it overrides that one sleep function. That gets them through more hours than usual.
Yeah, because eventually they still run out of electricity if they're not recharging.
See, I was also thinking we have no evidence that there is anything that can supercharge them outside of Circus Baby Party Works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. I think Glitchtrap could supercharge. Maybe we should let him... You deserve a reward. How about getting supercharged forever?
Spoilers! Glitchtrap is dead.
Have we ever seen Springtrap sleep?
Well, we've seen him get knocked out, and if you consider Springtrap's surgery canon...
See, now you're already getting people to think as Springtrap's surgery canon.
Right?
See the wheels turning.
They're like, where in the timeline does Springtrap's surgery... Well, hopefully after his head comes off.
So Circus Baby, the health inspector, and Santa team up to save Springtrap. That's weird.
I've heard weirder ideas.
Why was there a window? So this is why not a single Fazbear's location has any windows in-game.
There you go. Wasn't supposed to. Glitchtrap knew they shouldn't have any windows. To me, okay, this logic was they have been building Freddy Fazbear's, obviously, because you see it differently in Ground Zero than in Web of Lies and so forth. So the building has been worked on and expanded.
Yes.
And during those renovations, there probably should have been blueprints someplace about some of those things getting developed, like extra doors to the outside or windows somebody might escape out of. Maybe Phone Guy even purposely kind of hid some of those things. Glitchtrap should know everything going on in the building at any time. And he does rely on the animatronics that have been there longer, or at least free longer than him, to give him that kind of intel. So if they fail him and there are windows and doors people can use to just leave when he's all, the doors are locked, the restaurant, he looks like an idiot.
That's his own mistake. He said the doors are locked. He didn't say
the windoes are not locked. Shoot.
Locked. Darn it.
Missed that one. Hap set shut. Where can I get a I was born Freddy shirt?
Oh.
Well, I'm so glad you asked. There isn't one yet.
You make one. You just get a Sharpie and a plain shirt.
No. I want to sell this.
Oh, you're going to sell it.
If they're going to pay for it.
I get a Sharpie and you buy it.
We don't have one yet. We have talked about getting an artist on this because I know you're not the only one. I would wear one around too. I'm obviously wearing other shirts that you can actually get over on our store. Maybe not this one, but plenty of
not
cool
that
stuff.
one right now, but that one definitely, and this one.
We rotate them around.
We'll probably bring this one back soonish. This one's a pretty big favorite.
You might see an I Was Born Freddy shirt in the near future, and you can wear it to your heart's content. You could be as ready as you want to. I mean, you could be as Freddy as you want to be.
Masked figurine big. How is she able to understand him when BB is looking through sketches? I see no computer.
Oh, but there is a computer. I think the real problem is she never looks at it. But there is one.
She's just figured out what his highs and hellos mean.
True, he only has so many prompts to give.
Yeah.
And if she knows some are yes, some are no's, or positives and negatives, she might be able to infer it. And I think that's safe to say that she's worked a little bit long enough with him, just getting that all set up, that she's quickly determined these are positive chimes, these are negative.
It's always been a little bit of my headcanon that she is sneaking peeks at the computer to, confirm.
Yeah.
We don't show it, so I can't say that's canon. But
The scene was conceived at a desk originally. Originally, they were supposed to be at a desk so that the computer would be right there. And we just thought it'd be a lot more fun to have her actually sit on the bed with him, like a sleepover.
Right.
And really build the bonding activity, besties vibe.
Yeah.
From Eduardo, I'm not caught up on the lore. What's going on?
It's been 5 years between Web of Lies and Dark Remains.
Yeah.
And so I feel like
More.
either some people didn't watch Web of Lies and Ground Zero, which came out, years before, and didn't even link up super well to the original FNAF musical, and people weren't sure what to do or how to fit into the timeline or all that stuff. And so if you didn't see that, or it's been years since you saw that, I can definitely imagine that dropping right into, here's a girl falling out a window. Why are we here?
Fair, yeah. And even then, really, Web of Lies kind of kicks you off with the middle of nowhere if you didn't kind of follow from Ground Zero. And Ground Zero kicks you off from a completely different spot than the supercut did. So,
which is why we were so dead set on giving you another supercut, so that you could start from the beginning of something and actually know what was going on.
Fridge64. I think it'd be funny if Elizabeth was played by a different person each video. Funny and even more confusing. We just had problems with the lore. Can you imagine trying to keep track of a character who never looks the same in any episode?
Okay, but vaguely, always, a cute
Wears the same
brunette wearing the same outfit.
Sure.
I can see it.
This is a good time to recommend the movie Battlefield Baseball.
Oh no.
Recommend is a strong word.
Where the coach of the team or whatever literally changes actors every few scenes.
Now, who else would be cast as Elizabeth if we were actually going to do that?
I'm thinking Anna Bartelt would be really funny.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm you can't.
But she has a twin sister, Sarah Bartelt.
So
That's not
Sarah, and they just look weirdly.
He looks really
Can you imagine that scene where she finds the video of eggs? It looks just like her.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I tried to get Mari from Smosh actually as one of the first people to come take the role when we started talking about getting an Elizabeth Afton for Web of Lies.
I want to say we also reached out to
IS Cupquake.
I feel like that sounds right.
I was like, Rosanna Pansino might have been somebody
I
we
feel
tried
like we
to...
might have reached out to her.
Yeah. We were trying to recapture some of that, take somebody from a spot you're not used to seeing them and drop them in to a Random Encounters musical. And I think we got that with Adriana actually too.
Absolutely.
Of course, then we put her in 4 other musicals pretty much immediately after. So then you got really used to seeing her actually. So the plan failed, but she was really good fit for it.
She was so much fun to work with.
Yeah, great fit.
Really, I wouldn't give up the goose. She was a phenomenal goose.
Yeah. No, I don't regret it. I'm just saying. Didn't go the way I thought it would, because then we just kept working with her instead.
Nah, 3 real. Glitchtrap's voice actor is too perfect. Perfectly menacing, without yelling or screaming, very mastermind.
Casey is an all-star. What an excellent voice actor. What an excellent person. If you need Casey for something, man, he can deliver.
Yeah, he can.
One could almost argue he should have won Best Villain.
You might even believe
But,
he
that's not
was
how
owed.
votes went.
I think he's best villain in our hearts. I think there's an awful lot of people that are more committed to Casey's performance of Glitchtrap, maybe even than MATPAT playing phone guy. I know that's bold to say. Casey Dwyer is fantastic and amazing, and I'm so glad that you recognized him. Actually, all our cast.
Yes.
There were great comments about every single person that did anything on this project. Really, seriously, well done to you guys. Great comments. Thank you for saying such nice things about the people we work with.
From Also Wow. The difference of facial expression between Gwen and MATPAT at the last The Dark Remains is just perfect. For Matt, it's like he just realized something truly diabolical and evil. And for Gwen, it's like she realizes that there's no escape for her.
I mean, the whole song in general is such a fun parallel of you know, what can happen when you're both realizing that darkness is there and can't really ever be eradicated. And the difference between a bad guy and a anti-hero? I don't really know what to call Circus Baby these days.
Honestly, she's kind of a victim, so...
Yeah, she's a lot.
This is a crime scene. She's the victim.
I think all of that coming together was so cool, especially considering that Circus Baby Singing Dark Remains was filmed in October, I want to say, and MATPAT didn't come in to film his for at least a month after that.
Yeah, it was December before.
December.
Yeah,
I wanted to say it was December, but then I was unsure.
Yep.
So the fact that we like got those two performances and then got to watch them line up, 2 months later, it was so beautiful.
No, I love the difference of how they handle that song. Because lyrically, they're not that far off from each other in a lot of ways. Like, Baby is her own monster as well as MATPAT. They both, not MATPAT.
MATPAT's a monster.
MATPAT's
You
great.
heard it
Love
here.
MATPAT. Matt, sorry. He's just oozing this delicious, like, I love the chance to break rules and destroy things and ruin stuff. It makes me feel good. And you did the song, so like, I have tried to do good. I have sought the right way to do everything, and everyone shoots it down and kills it, just burns it out of me. And it's amazing how the two characters come to that like opposite conclusion, just like you're saying, the flip-flop of, I'm happy about this, I love it, I am so distraught and sad that I can't have, the good ending. It's your boy. Foxy saying beep was oddly wholesome.
Wasn't it?
It was. Beep. That was David's favorite thing. He was waiting the entire recording session. And I said, all right, the next line is beep. He's like, I was waiting. I've been practicing this. He had so many different beeps too. 10 minutes of Foxy saying beep. We've got the footage.
Cheetah says, everyone's talking about MATPAT, but can we talk about Anna Eggs' acting? That was incredible.
It affects me probably as much as it affects you guys. I loved watching, I loved hearing what Stoops sent over, and I loved being on set with Anna, and Anna took direction. There was a lot of direction too. We've tried so many different things, and it just hit.
AJ was writing it going, oh, like this is, a discussion between a therapist and a patient, and like one of them's off screen, and it's just gonna be like in a blank room, and it's so likely to be a little slow or a little boring. So he kept interjecting like instructions for like Lizzie's reactions and BB's reactions and things that Lizzie and BB would be doing to keep the scene lively and things like that. And it was so fun to watch it go into editing and come out without a ton of that. And it was just because like Anna and Stoops were eating it up.
Justice for Anna. She deserves a lot of credit for doing that scene, and Stoops as well.
Rainbow Kangaroo says, so basically, Glitchtrap tried to kill Afton, Lizzie pairs with BB, Circus Baby gets the core 4 on insane robot caffeine, and Vanny returns? Heck yeah.
That's a good description. They can write our YouTube descriptions now.
Yeah, it's a big episode. There's a lot of ground to cover, actually.
Right. Bucket Bob gets debucketed, and Springtrap...
We just call him Bob now.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Springtrap goes in the drink for a while.
Yeah, he goes swimming. The swimming hole. Just another lunatic. New favorite quote unlocked. I want my robotic fox back.
If I walked into my place of business and found that somebody had moved my stuff around, I would also be running around saying I wanted it back.
It's probably in better condition than my actual back. So it's like a robotic fox back is probably an upgrade.
Yeah, that you wonder why he's so miserable and screaming at people. It's because he has a lot of back problems, killing a lot of children, and he wants his robotic fox back. Just get that thing switched back on and he'll be good to go.
I feel like that would confuse the inspector even more. Once you get to like, oh, I'm sorry, you don't want this thing returned to you. You want a new back. Coolsington Jeff Zington III. Do not touch Bucket Bob like that. He's my little baby.
No!
He got touched like that.
Baby Bucket Bob.
It was.
Oh no.
It was a bad touch.
Pour one out in the chat for Bucket Bob. Pour it out with a bucket. for
Bucket Bob's only crime was being too aesthetically similar to Fanstan.
Being too wildly attractive is what I was going to say.
Yes.
I thought that his problem was that he was as ungainly to puppeteer as Pan Stan.
More so.
Probably, yes.
Even more so.
He was worse than Puppet Stan, I'd say, because like,
Puppet Stan.
Puppet Stan.
This is like Glitchtrap, Springtrap, Burntrap. Now we've got Puppet Stan.
Pan Stan. I can't
Bucket
keep track
Stan.
of him anymore. Yeah, Bucket Bob had like the pot holder hands that probably came off a lot. And
so much.
So, and also he's easier to kill than Pan Stan because
His
a
head
bucket
does
can just
come
go
off.
pew.
Oh yeah, looked great. Good job, Elise.
And yet, Pan Stan did eventually go woo.
There were a lot more pieces than woo. It was like woo, 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 woo.
Bucket Bob is like, he didn't really do anything, and he kind of goes out like a chump when Glitchtrap's mad. Pan Stan, like, gets eviscerated by the puppet, and he kind of deserved it, because Pan Stan was one of the nastier of them, so.
It's true.
To be fair, Bucket Bob was spying on everybody with the security cameras. It's kind of weird.
That's his job.
Spying doesn't pay. Those are all the comments we pulled. Thank you guys so much for leaving all your comments. We're looking forward to reading more of them on the next musical, which is in production. So stick around, stay tuned, hit the bell, and subscribe because Random Encounters will be back soon. Beard salute! Woo!